Growing Up Green Story by Raksha Rajesh. Off to Siberia. Samantha pitched her pajamas into her suitcase and slammed it shut as if it contained a three-head monster. It was crammed full of shorts, sneakers, socks, jeans, sweatshirts that she would need for the next 8 weeks. She glanced outside her window. She saw Mr. Gonzalez was planting flowers and Mr. Gonzalez was raking leaves. He opened a bag of store bought compost and spread it on top of the soil around the pink blossoms. Samantha heard her brother, Hal, calling her from downstairs. Sam, your laundry is done. Samantha ran to the laundry room to find her favorite pink t shirt. In her haste to grab it out of the dryer, she knocked over two boxes of empty soda bottles. Sometimes I just hate recycling, she yelled. At least you get a vacation from it, her older brother muttered. I might as well be going to Siberia, groaned Samantha. Mine isn't too bad, Hal said, sticking his head to the laundry room. He was leaving for college in office, so he was working at an office to make money all over summer. I'll be slaving away at my summer job while you are relaxing like this at Nanny's house. If Mom finds the water bottle in trash, you will be in Siberia yourself, Samantha warned. His brother said, I know Einstein, cool your jets. At breakfast, Samantha ate chunks of mango with delight. Her mother knew she loved mangoes, so Samantha suspected that the treat was her way of saying sorry. All winter, the family had talked about Samantha going to summer camp. Her summer was going to be jam packed with horseback riding, swimming, and mountain biking. But then the economy crashed, and her parents didn't have money to send her to the camp. Instead, Samantha was being sent to her grandmother's house in Maine for summer. After breakfast, Samantha grabbed the empty milk carton and threw it in the recycling bin. At least her trip to Maine would finally give her a break from the mom's tough green rules about recycling and saving energy. This is Samantha here. This is Samantha here. When Samantha arrived in Maine, her grandmother picked her up at the airport. Samantha laughed when she saw her grandmother drove a hybrid car, just like her parents. After hugging her grandmother, Samantha said, Are you a green nut like my mother? Nanny shrugged. Not exactly. Great, Samantha said. Because I am sick and tired of all the green rules in my house. Turn out that light, turn out the air cooler, and walk slow. And we don't have to take the car. My mom is driving us all crazy. Nanny didn't comment, but she smiled slightly. Soon it was dark. Now, the darkness and the gentle movement of the car put Samantha into deep sleep. Next chapter, Nanny's house. Samantha's bedroom was in the top floor of the nanny's house, and the morning sunshine pried her open eyes. She heard digging outside and saw Nanny in the garden. Samantha was amazed at all the flowers she saw outside her window. There were clumps of blue, pink, and yellow everywhere. Behind the fence, there were vegetable-filled rows of raised garden beds. Nanny walked back towards the house, and Samantha quickly dressed. Her grandmother rinsed strawberries and put them in a bowl next to milk and cereal. Do you have mangoes instead? Samantha asked. Mangoes in mine? Nanny frowned. Can you imagine how much energy it takes to chip a mango from puree to here? Samantha was speechless. Nanny continued, I buy my food locally. I bought these strawberries for you at farmer's market yesterday. They're sweeter and fresher than fruits from faraway places. Samantha tasted the berries and she was right. They tasted terrific. After breakfast, Samantha followed her grandmother into the This is Samantha and her grandmother here. The garden and was amazed at spinach, lettuce, and broccoli. Nanny obviously had a green thumb. Samantha watched her grandmother dump vegetables and fruit scraps into a wire bin. What's that? Samantha asked. It's a compost bin. Nanny rolled the wheelbarrow to a different bin filled with something that looked like rich dark soil. This is mature compost. Nanny filled the wheelbarrow with the dark brown substance. Then she rolled it over to an empty raised bed intended for green beans plants. Make yourself useful, her grandmother said. She handed Samantha her shovel. As her grandmother emptied the wheelbarrow, Samantha mixed the compost into the dirt. Samantha remembered Mr. Gonzalez and how he used compost around his flowers at home. I thought compost kept weeds out. Why are we mixing the dirt? It makes the soil rich. Compost sticks to the soil particles and help them to hold on to the nutrients that make plants grow. After mixing the compost into the soil, Nanny showed Samantha how to plant green beans. Then they watered the garden for gathering spinach and lettuce for salad. For lunch, they ate some broccoli and green vegetable salad. After lunch, Nanny suggested they'll go for a hike. Samantha opened the pantry door and asked, Where's the water? Nanny pointed to the spigot. And no, I mean the bottled water for hike. Nanny tossed a metal bottle. Fill that. My water comes from spring. Besides, if you use that, there'll be less plastic bottle to recycle. Samantha groaned. She had come from a fanatical recycling family to a situation so green that even recycling was frowned upon. Aren't you greener than my mother? Samantha asked. You couldn't say that, Nanny said with a grin. I'm waiting for my hair to turn green any day. Yours might too, with a little luck. The first day was like many more that followed. In mornings, they worked in the garden. In afternoons, they went hiking or biking. It wasn't summer camp, but it wasn't torture either. Samantha also learned how green her grandmother was, but a greenish, if could call it that, was just the way she lived. Her grandmother pinned the clothes on the clothesline to dry. She plugged her television and lamps into power strips and shut them off at night. She moved her lawn with a hand mower instead of gas power one. Instead of using harsh chemicals to clean her house, she used baking soda and vinegar. One day, Samantha's grandmother set up a farm stand at the end of the driveway and sold summer vegetables from the garden at night. She collected the money that the people left in the cash box. It pays for the garden supplies, her grandmother said. Samantha noticed that her forehead was creased. What's wrong, Nanny? Her grandmother smiled and relaxed her muscles. Nothing, I was just thinking. But she didn't sound very convincing. Samantha wondered what was wrong. Was she doing something wrong, or was something else wrong worrying her grandmother? Something was definitely not right. One afternoon, after a trip to beach, Samantha's grandmother stopped by the hardware store. She purchased yards of hardware cloth, which is wire mesh used for fencing. Nanny pulled a $20 bill from her wallet and began digging in her purse for the rest. Quickly, Samantha pulled out $2 from her jeans pocket. Need this? She asked. Thank you, her grandmother said. I'll pay you back. Samantha noticed the wrinkles were back on Nanny's forehead. Then it occurs to Samantha that perhaps her grandmother was short of money. That would explain the wrinkles. Now, the next day, Samantha loaded up the car with hardware cloth, a bucket full of kitchen scraps, a bag of grass clippings, and a bale of straw. Nanny spoke to the group of men and women. I'm so happy that you asked to teach how to compost. She looked at her granddaughter. So, this is my assistant Samantha. She can tell you how compost helps your garden. Samantha was shocked when everyone turned to listen to her. But she remembered what her grandmother had taught her. She spoke up loud and clear. Compost adds richness to your soil. Gardeners call it black gold because it is so precious. You can spend $5 a bag for it, but we can teach you how to make it for free. For the next hours, Samantha and Nanny showed the group how to compost. At the end of the demonstration, one woman gave Nanny a check. Samantha remembered Mr. Gonzalez tending her flowers back home, and an idea formed in her mind. If it worked, she might go to the camp next year. During July, more and more vegetables came up with the garden. Samantha and her grandmother were busy tending the garden, and 2 days a week they gave composting demonstrations to homeowners and gardening groups. The garden was thriving. The beans grew long and the raspberries turned deep red. The yellow squash popped up overnight, and the cucumbers seemed to grow an inch longer each day. Every morning, Samantha harvested vegetables and fruits, taking what they didn't need for the farm stand. One day, Nanny asked Samantha to collect money at the stand. Samantha opened the cash box and there was only 25 cents inside. She searched and scanned in case some money had fallen under the table, but there wasn't any. Somebody was stealing their produce. Samantha grabbed the cash box and ran back into the house. When she told Nanny, her grandmother just said, Samantha was confused. If Nanny needed money, why was she so unconcerned? Nanny, someone is stealing from you. Maybe, she said. Maybe not. There's no maybe. We should sold a whole table full of squashed raspberries and lettuce today, and there's only a quarter in there. Maybe someone needs the food, Nanny said, but it's stealing. They probably can't afford to buy fresh vegetables, Samantha said. But it is right. Whoever took the food knew they were stealing. They must feel guilty, hungry or not. People shouldn't steal. Nanny smiled. Then let's not let them. I have an idea. They worked together to make a new sign for the farm stand. This time, the sign asked for voluntary contributions only. People could pay whatever they wanted for fruits and vegetables they bought. Samantha said, but Nanny, don't you need the money that the farm stand made? Bro winked up again. Money's not everything. Then she laughed. Call it part of being green, which you so lovingly tell me I am. How is giving food away being green? Samantha asked. Now, think of it this way. The earth produces us with fruits and vegetables. We have too many, so we give. They can pay if they can. So if they can't, they can't. Times are hard now. And if I can share my garden with someone who doesn't have one, then I'm happy. Samantha studied her grandmother's face. It was still lined with worry. Was she really serious that she didn't need the money? End of summer. In early August, Samantha went to check the cash box. Instead of quarter or a dollar, there was $50 bill inside. Samantha gave the money to her grandmother, who didn't seem surprised. She just said, and smiled. Neither of them knew who had put the money in the box, and Samantha realized that it didn't matter with the money they had collected. The garden supplies had been paid for, and there was a little extra left over. Soon it was time for Samantha to return home and get ready for school. She packed the bags and realized for the first time that she hadn't felt homesick or bored all summer. She had been too busy making fruits and vegetables and planting flowers. On the way to airport, Samantha decided to tell her grandmother about her money-making idea. She said, I wanted to go to the camp this summer." The wrinkles returned to Nanny's forehead. Samantha quickly added, "I had a great time and I have a new idea. When I get back home, I am going to teach the people there how to compost. I can save people money and help protect the environment." Nanny laughed. "That's a wonderful idea. Green really doesn't run in our family." A few minutes before Samantha boarded the airplane and her grandmother handed her an envelope. "What's that?" Samantha asked. "Look inside," Nanny said. Samantha opened the white envelope and saw a stack of $10 and $20 bills. She stammered, "I can't." "Yes, you can," her grandmother said. "You helped me all the summer with the garden and the composting workshops. Now you can go to the camp next summer, but you need this money," Samantha blurted. Her grandmother laughed. "No, I don't. I have all money I need." But you always looked so worried this summer." "I was worried," Nanny said. "I was worrying about you. I was worried that you were miserable staying with me instead of doing exciting things at camp." Samantha dropped her bags and hugged her grandmother. "I had an amazing summer. I wouldn't trade this summer for all camps in the world." Nanny said, "Honey, that's the loveliest thing anyone has ever told me." Samantha said, "You taught me a lot. You taught me that being green isn't just about recycling and turning off lights. It is about working with the earth and helping other people." Samantha grabbed her bags and walked towards the gate. "You will come visit us in the city, right?" "Yes," Nanny said, blowing her a kiss. Samantha said, "Just do me one favor. Next year, plant some more mango trees. If anyone can get them to grow in mine, you can." Nanny laughed and waved goodbye. This is the end of the story. Thank you.